There, fighter from Canoas of the war. In today's video, we are going to talk a little about a possible production of the Sukhoi Su-35 jet by Iran. Well, according to what is known so far, at the Kazan summit last year, in 2024, in Russia, Iran would have agreed with the Russians on the production. They would need between 48 and 72 jets. We do not know yet how much of this batch will come ready from Russia and how much will be manufactured in Iran. If Russia effectively authorizes and supports the production of these jets in Iran, it will be a simply fantastic technology transfer, an offset of an aircraft defined as 4.5 generation from 4th to 5th generation, a fantastic technology transfer, something that Brazil would need. And we do not know if the transfer that Russia might make to Iran is in the same terms as Saab would do in the case of the Brazilian Gripen. But the truth is one. Iran really needs these jets. Why? Because Iran's aviation is completely outdated, still with F-14 jets, which were good aircraft for their time. But almost 50 years after the project, they've lost their timing. Iran, like Brazil, is also interesting. There are some similarities in our aerospace industries. Iran is a country that has mastered the F-5 jet cycle. They even made several modifications to the jet. They have their own local version. It's quite interesting. Although people focus a lot on Iran's missile and drone manufacturing, we have to remember that they also have a very large aircraft manufacturing capability. They have a strong command of aeronautical technology. So I believe it won't be difficult for Russia to transfer these capabilities to Iran. It won't be difficult for Iran to assimilate this. Now, we need to look at other things as well, right? The plane is not just a fuselage or engine. The strength of a combat aircraft nowadays is its systems, especially avionics. So the radar, right, the alert systems, warning systems, and the other sensors as well. So I don't know to what extent Russia will transfer all this to Iran. And we also don't know what the gradient of this will be. To what extent the first plane is manufactured. Generally, we do this. You manufacture 1, 2, 10 aircraft in the country, right? The personnel come, the industry personnel come.
Mora ali, fica ali no on-job training, aprendendo a fabricar, manobrar as ferramentas, aprendendo todo o ciclo, todo o processo.
Learning the entire cycle, the entire process. Then, as these people gain expertise, they return to their country. Some machines are exported, and the personnel begins production and replacement. In the case of Iran, there is assistance from Russian technicians until Iran can go solo and manufacture the aircraft. We don't know to what extent, how this will unfold, what the time frame is. This is very important in aeronautical projects, military projects in general. What the time frame is for them to achieve this. I'll give an example that is quite interesting. This amphibious assault ship that China recently launched, the Type 76, which is a fantastic ship. I mentioned it's 40,000 tons. It's enormous. They took 4 years from the drawing board to putting the ship in the water. In the United States, it takes 7, so the maturation time of the Chinese project is extremely fast. There were people who said the Chinese project is not good. I wouldn't buy into that urban legend, because China nowadays has excellent projects, so we don't know what the maturation time will be, if it will even happen. If Iran, I think what is defined in this whole story is that Iran should have, within a few years, a good fleet of Su-35 jets. How much of this will be manufactured in Iran, how much will be nationalized by them, is very difficult to know. I think Iran has that capability. Now we have to remember that tomorrow, the 17th, Iran and Russia will sign a major agreement. I think this agreement could be transformative in terms of the Middle East. Because the Middle East is changing a lot. The Israeli ceasefire with Rabat, which is still somewhat uncertain, but given the strength of the sponsors, the United States, the Gulf countries, etc., the possibility of this ceasefire succeeding is high, and this will have a geopolitical impact. But we have to remember that in the case of Iran, going back to the SU-35, we have to remember the following. What are the strengths of the aircraft? Well, first, it has thrust vectoring engines, which provide exceptional maneuverability. I have certain doubts about whether maneuverability is important nowadays in aerial combat, but in any case, it's there. Its radar has also been a concern for the Russians for many years, long distances, which is a requirement for a modern radar today. The speed is also Mach 2.25, which is quite high. An interesting thing is their weaponry capability. I don't know to what extent Russia will transfer its latest missiles to Iran. You can be sure of one thing. If Russia transfers them, Iran will soon produce a local version. They even managed to produce a local version of the Phoenix missile, the AIM-154, right? Which operated with the F-14. It's impressive. The missile was the craze of the time, and Iran managed to make their version. I don't doubt they can do it. And the Su-35 is a very versatile aircraft. Besides air superiority and interception missions, it also has ground attack capability. Then people say it's not a stealth aircraft. I don't know to what extent that matters. Okay, folks? I doubt it a lot because I am skeptical about this stealth capability. I have many doubts about whether this feature is absolute in terms of modern aerial warfare. Now, we also need to remember that the Su-35 is an expensive aircraft. Its maintenance is quite complex. But Iran will have to pay for it. There's no way around it. It is a strategic necessity for the country. Anyway, we don't know to what extent either, because it's that story. But why does Iran need this aircraft? Because it has some complicated neighbors. It is a neighbor to Turkey. It is a neighbor to Pakistan. It has Israel nearby. It's already in Syria now. There's Saudi Arabia too. Even though they reopened the embassy, you don't know what the future holds. Things are always complicated. So Iran needs the plane and should bear the costs. That's the situation we have today. I'm quite optimistic about it. I think that if Iran really dives into the project, many surprises will emerge. That was our video for today. We will continue to follow this case. Those of you who watched our video, comment, share, give it a like. If you want to help with the super sticker or super chat, you contribute to the growth of our media. There's also Pix, which I say bypasses YouTube's restrictions. YouTube imposes many restrictions on the military channel. Pix is the way you can help us with our productions. For those interested in taking courses, there are courses on YouTube from the Arte de Guerra channel, from the School of Course. They are very good courses, excellent courses. And I remember that now we have the Arte de Guerra channel in English. I'll leave the link here for you. Folks, I'll now leave you with an Amazon promo. You can purchase books through Amazon. By purchasing these books, you help our channel. We'll be back shortly, always with responsibility and commitment. Faith in Brazil, folks. See you later. We've made a special selection of books for aviation enthusiasts. They are not novels, just books that provide professional knowledge on the subject. These are books on aircraft accident investigations and real aviation stories, with a highlight on Ivan Santana. Ivan Santana, for those who don't know, is a Brazilian author. He wrote Caixa Preta, Perda Total, and several other books. The important thing about these books is that with them, you will learn how it works, okay? Not only the process of investigating aviation accidents, but also pilot training, aviation routine, safety principles. In short, the entire aviation universe is unveiled for you in this selection of books that the channel has prepared. All of them are on our wish list. And every time you buy books and other items through the Arte de Guerra channel's wish list, you are helping to maintain our platform. You can access it either through the description at the bottom of the video or via the QR code that appears on your screen.